Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Tidbit Tuesdays. So, talked about dental and vision last week and figuring out if you need to sign up for dental vision now that the major medical open enrollment has passed. But something I'm going to cycle back to a topic I've talked about many, many times. And I get this question a lot from people about getting a large bill in the mail. They think they've done everything right. I've talked about surprise billing in one of my previous blogs that went into effect January 1, how to avoid that. But still, even when you have insurance and you have you've done the right things, gone in network, you still can end up with a large bill because of deductibles and coinsurance and things like that. So I've come across a cool book called Never Pay the First Bill, which is really awesome. It's by Marshall Allen. And it's interesting because he's an investigative reporter, and he had a situation with his parents that he utilized some of the things he was finding out to help negotiate. Basically, in their case, it was an error. It was an error by, they had put his father in assisted living. And even though mom had power of attorney, there were things that were done that should not have been done without contacting her. They upcoded some charges, and it was more of a principle thing, but it was really interesting, the first chapter. And I haven't gotten very far because it was open enrollment and I haven't had a whole lot of time to read, but I'm working my way through it, hoping to learn some additional things that maybe I'm already not relating to my clients. So whenever you get a big bill, the very first thing, the reason this book is called Never Pay the First Bill is because a lot of times that bill is incorrect. It has been billed incorrectly, even though it comes from the hospital. They should be, a lot of these big facilities outsource their billing. So it's being done by someone who has really no contact with the facilities and may not even understand what's involved in the different codes. Scary, I know. They're just going by what's listed. Oh, they did this and this is the code, and just submitting it along with the diagnosis, where a lot of times it's incorrect. I can speak firsthand. The billing gets done incorrectly. I have fought many bills, and I've helped clients fight many bills. So there's a couple different ways. One, there could be a mistake. That's why you want to review the bill, review it with your insurance. Sometimes they bill you for more than what insurance says you owe. So one, right there is a mistake. And two, look at the charges. I get it when it's super extensive, but if you didn't have 3 MRIs done at the hospital and your bill says 3 MRIs, well, that's a problem. I had a client that was billed from a ER visit for an x-ray that they couldn't find the x-ray. Couldn't find it. She said, well, if you did an x-ray, I want to see the results. Well, they couldn't find it. Well, if you can't find it, it wasn't done. And yes, you may have to fight them, but that's fraudulent to bill for something you can't prove was done. And that's another whole thing where you can file complaints with the State Board of Insurance and the medical board as well. But generally, you want to review the first bill, compare it with your EOB, make sure that matches up to what the insurance owes. So if you feel that the bill is correct, now what do? Okay, now I owe $4,000. Well, maybe not. So the first step would be to call the facility and ask them if they have a financial assistance program, not a payment program. Do not sign up for a payment program at this point. That's what they're trying to do, but you want to know if they have a financial assistance. All big facilities have financial assistance. I will tell you this. You just need to learn where to find the forms. You fill out the forms, send it in. Generally takes about 3 months, which is perfect timing. Because if for some reason they deny your financial assistance or don't reduce the bill enough, then now we're in a collection status. The bill is 91 days old, and now is your bargaining time between 91 days and 179 days. Because at 180 days, yes, they can turn it into the credit bureau and ding your credit. But before that, they cannot. There are rules against that. So they can turn it into their collection department, but it's not going to show up on your credit report yet, even if they use a collection agency. So this is your best negotiating time. Generally, you can see what what insurance is paid if you have insurance, and you can see what the balance of the bill is. Offer them a reasonable amount, what you think is fair. They generally, I've had this happen, they generally accept it. A lot of the times. People just don't know to ask. That all you have to do is ask, and a lot of times it happens. So I'll give you an example. I had a client that had to take an ambulance ride. Ambulance wasn't in network with anybody, which is really odd, but they weren't. And the bill was not yet 91 days old, but I thought, well, let me call and just see what's going on. And, actually, told the client to call. Well, yeah. So client called and said, hey, I noticed my insurance didn't pay you anything because you're at a network. Can you tell me, if you have a financial program? And so the lady on the other end of the phone looked and she said, oh, wait, we still give you the PPO discount even though we're not network. So she adjusted the bill, and next step was like, all right, now the bill is this. Again, client says, do you have a financial assistance program? Because I can't afford that. She goes, well, what I can do is I can adjust this bill for Medicare pricing. Awesome. If someone says that, say yes. Say yes, adjust the bill for Medicare pricing. So they did. And so now the balance was half of what it originally was. And the lady at the ambulance company said, we don't have a set assistance program because they were an ambulance company, but what we do is we do not charge you interest or late fees, and you can make a monthly payment however much you want to make till it's paid off. Okay. I thought that was a pretty good win in that situation. So instead of owing $1,100, the client owed about $500, which is a win. And, they decided just to pay it off instead of paying $10 a month and be annoyed that they're paying $10 a month. So that was a good win. There's other instances where I had another client that insurance paid. Copay for her 2-day hospital stay was $6,000. For a $95,000 bill, that's not bad, but client didn't have $6,000. So again, it's one of the major hospitals. We looked up, we got the financial forms, had client fill it out, we submitted those forms. Took about 3 months, but client received a letter saying that they reduced the bill to a $30 copay. $30 from $6,000. So even though her insurance said she owed $3,000 a day, which was what her copay was, the facility still reduced it more based on financial need and ability to pay, and her final bill was $30. What a deal. So it can be done. I'm hoping to learn some more tricks to share with you guys, but if you're my client, you get me to assist you. No, I don't call for you. I give you the tips and tricks to do because of HIPAA. It's a whole thing if I try to call and I'm not on your HIPAA. So I do help you what to do. I can be on a 3-way if need be, but generally most clients can handle it on their own. And just let me know how it works. And then there's the opposite way of trying to avoid a big bill, and that is beforehand. If you don't have an emergency and didn't need to seek care at an inopportune time, but you have something planned, whether it's a colonoscopy or it's a planned procedure, you can shop that. I have resources that will help you shop that and determine the least out of pocket you're going to pay, because that's the whole point, is saving you money out of pocket. You think, well, what if I pay cash? Well, if you pay cash and it's less, great. It doesn't go toward your deductible if you have one. But what's the goal? The goal is for you not to spend so much money. And sometimes it is best to be a cash pay patient. And, and it's fine as long as you're not going to need a whole bunch of services later that you're going to meet a deductible anyway. So hop on over to my page, JCAP Consulting. You can schedule a time to visit with me about any questions you have and maybe get the book. Never pay the first bill. I don't get any credit for this, but I think it's a good book. I think people should read it and arm themselves with the knowledge so we stop overpaying for healthcare, because that makes your premiums go up. Till next week, peace out.